Hello magical hands, welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Jessica, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. This is the part 2 and the sewing version of this tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you guys how I made this snatched corset with an inbuilt lacing at the back and also with a keyhole neckline. So you get all of this in this video, and also don't forget to check for the part 1 in the description box. This is the sketch I did. Despite the fact that this dress was inspired by the picture you saw on the thumbnail, I went ahead to redefine mine the way I wanted it to be, and also how I will be placing the lace alongside the Ankara, because I did not have enough of lace, I had more of Ankara. And I've already cut this out on my fabric. You already saw this in the part 1. So starting off, we are going to start with the front pieces. Keep the cups and the yoke of the front piece aside. We'll work on the underburst first. Open all the pieces and arrange them as seen. I will place my pattern paper on it just to show you guys how I will be sewing this up. So I'm going to sew up that 1 inch in between them, and don't forget we left 1 inch for the seam allowance. Now I'll take this over to my ironing table to put on my gum stay on this. For the gum stay, I am using the softest gum stay, and I'll be putting only 1 layer of gum stay on the main fabric. You can also put gum stay on your lining, but I am using a cotton lining, so I didn't see the need because cotton linings are as good as having them with a gum stay. Trim out the remaining gum stay and also split back your tops into its pieces. Sew the center front together as indicated. Also, anything you do to the main fabric, do it to the lining as well. Now that I'm done sewing it up, I'm going to open it up with my iron. Make sure that all your seams, you open them up with your iron. Now attach the side front to the center front as seen, and also open up your seams with your iron. Your front pieces should look like this. Now I'm going to mark the wideness of the bone that I have, and it's not even up to half an inch. And I also have another bone that is even smaller than this. This is not the smallest bone I have used. I have another one that is smaller than this, so I'm going to use that to mark the wideness of the bone. So I'm going to just sew half an inch round the seam allowance. And this is the reason why I wanted to use 1 inch to sew up the dart lines, so I can have enough space to sew my bones. So each dart line is having 2 boning cases. So just take your time to chalk down the half an inch so that your line is very straight. For the lining, I will not be doing the same thing because there will be no bone for the lining. I will not be putting a bone in the lining, so I don't see the need to do that to the lining. You can just trim out the remaining allowance in the lining if you want to, but this part is totally optional, but I went ahead to reduce a bit of the allowance that was left after I had sewn my boning case, and also so that it does not interrupt me while joining my cup, because the allowance is actually quite big, as you can see at the top part. After sewing the bone cases, I'm going to place the lining on this, and I'll keep this aside. So we'll move over to the back piece. For the back piece, I kept the yoke of the back aside as well, so I can join the lower bodies first. Use your pattern piece to confirm if you place this rightly. Make sure that the center back is at the center while the side back is by the sides. Also, disclaimer, I was actually putting on a bum short and a tube, but right in this video it looks like I wasn't wearing anything, so I just wanted to make that known because I didn't like how my skin was showing a lot. Now we are going to sew the side to the center back. So we are going to do that for both the left back and the right back. After sewing, I went up to open the seams with my irons as well, and you can see what it is looking like. Now I'll take this to the sewing machine to create boning cases for each of the main fabrics. Now that I am done creating the boning cases, I'm going to attach the yoke of the back to the back piece and then turn the back piece. So that way we are totally done with the back piece. Also, you can see that the back piece that we sketched is beginning to come to life. Now I can start inserting my boning into the boning cases after I have joined the yoke to the main blouse. This way the top part of the main fabric is already closed, so the boning cannot come through. I have already secured that part by joining it with the yoke. So take your time to fix in your bonings. I didn't iron the boning before fixing it in, so I definitely have to iron it now that it is in. If you have a steamer, you do not have to put water, but if you do not, make sure to put water so that it can relax the bone. You can see how straight it is looking now. So in order to turn the lining, use the lining to turn it, I will turn in my yoke as seen, and then I'll place the lining on the main fabric, right face facing the right face as seen. So you just go ahead and sew along that same line that you have sewn before. After turning this in, I had no idea that part was not on camera, so I want to apologize ahead. I noticed that the lining was short, and I know that this would have happened while I was cutting. So I just went ahead to trim this because I know that both my linings are equal. So whatever I'm doing to the left side, I know I will also do the same thing to the right side. So I went ahead to trim out that excess. Now I'm going to turn the lower body. So I'm going to reduce the bone now so that I can have space to sew my lining, because it was actually reduced before, but now that I've reduced half an inch again, I have to reduce the bone again. So now I'm going to turn the lower bodies just as indicated. We'll flip everything back to how it was, and then we'll sew along as indicated. Also sew the zipper side. We are going to turn in the zipper side. I marked 1.5 inches for zip allowance on the pattern paper. So if I sew half an inch, if I turn half an inch in, I will be left with 1 inch to fix my zipper. Now that I'm done with that, make sure to do the same thing to the other side, and then we have our back piece complete. Our boning is inserted and we have been able to turn it in. Also, I'll hem the neckline of the yoke. Back to the front pieces, we are going to sew up the cups as seen. We are going to join the cup 1 to cup 2. I am done attaching the cup 1 to the cup 2, and before I go ahead, I will first of all put in the yoke. I will sew the yoke to the cup as seen. So just take out your yoke and attach them. Your yoke is supposed to stop at the dart line because that was what we did while we're cutting this on the fabric. But before you sew your yoke, make sure to hem the necklines. Make sure to hem the neckline of the yoke before you attach it to the cup. So I have hemmed the neckline of the yoke, and now I'm going to take it to my sewing machine to attach it to the cup as seen. This is what it looks like after attaching the yoke. Use your pin to secure that point. Just hold that down for some time with your pin before you sew it up. Following the picture illustration, I also want to place a bit of lace on the cups, and I'm just going to use the pattern paper to show you guys how I will be able to do that. You can just use your free hand to do this. This part is totally optional, but I just wanted to place a bit of the lace on the bra cups. So I taped the patterns of the cups together, so we have something looking like the corset cup, and I'm going to place it underneath the fabric as seen. I'll just create something, a nice curve. I didn't even use a curve ruler. I just went ahead with my hands to draft a curve, and that is how I want the lace to be placed on this. Like I said, this is totally optional, but it's something in case you might also want to do same. This is how I went about it. So I'm going to cut that part out, and I'm going to transfer it on the lace fabric. Now I'll place this on the cups as seen, and then I'm going to take to my sewing machine and top stitch. This part, you can actually attach this to the yoke before sewing on the cup, but if you already did it the way I did mine, just go ahead and top stitch. Also, you do not have to worry about the ends of the lace fraying. Most of the times these cord laces do not fray. Most times laces do not even fray, so don't worry about the ends fraying at all. Now it's time for us to attach the cups to the fabric itself, and I'm going to be using these cups from this bra. For some reason my mom bought this bra and it was way bigger than her. I don't know why, and I still cannot understand why. Out of my siblings, she gave me the bra. I know I am busty. Why would she give me a bra bigger than her? Ha! Let's not even go there. I've had this bra for like 2 years. No, of course I can't wear it because it's extremely big. It has a lot of space in it, and so I tried to use it for this project. More so, I like the foam that was used in it. It's actually more softer than this cups that we buy in the market, and also the iron underneath that bra, that iron that holds your breast in the bra, I'm also going to use that iron for another project. So this bra has actually served a good purpose, even though I still don't understand why I was gifted this bra or dashed this bra. So guys, I went ahead to cut out the cups, and I also cut it to my size, kind of reduced it to match the fabric because like I said, the cup is very big. Now we are back to improvising. We are supposed to use a hemming gun to tack this bra cup to the fabric, but I do not have a ham, the tailor's ham, if I'm calling it right. I do not have a ham, so we are going to use this Vaseline container underneath it. Now we are going to use the lining of the cups to turn the top part of the cups. So we'll fold in the yoke, same way we did to the back piece, and we'll place the lining as seen. So we are going to sew 1/2 inch around that area. And then after you turn the lining over, you are going to match the remaining side. You are going to just match it to prep it so it can be attached to the under corset. Now we can sew the cups to the under corset. This is what it looks like. This is what the inside looks like. If you want, you can sew the lining separately from the main fabric, but this is the process I wanted to follow. Make sure to come down by 1/2 inch on that point of the under corset before you attach it. That 1/2 inch will be used to turn the lining in. Mind you, we've not turned in the lining yet, so that 1/2 inch will be used to turn in the lining. So make sure to come down by 1/2 inch before attaching your cups. Now I'm going to use the lining to turn the cup area as well as the center corset part. And also this process might seem hard to some people, but it's actually not really that technical. It just requires some patience, and just take your time to sew this through. So after turning the lining, the next thing I will do is to, before I finally iron this again, I will start inserting my bonings same way we did to the back piece. So after you insert your bonings, make sure to iron so everything can relax properly. Flip in the body so you can turn the base of the blouse, so you can turn in the lower body same way we did to the lining of the back piece. So after you sew 1/2 inch all through, you can flip everything to the right place. Now we can start attaching the front pieces to the back piece. Also make sure that the sides are the same, make sure that the sides are equal, which mine is equal. So I'm going to place the front piece right face facing the right face of the back piece, and then I'm going to sew the 1 inch that we added for sewing allowance while we were cutting this on the fabric. And also I will join the shoulders together. So from the part 1 of this video, I mentioned that I wanted it to be very snatched, so I reduced my actual waist measurement. So because of that, you can see that this cloth is going to be impossible to zip up. It will be very tight, it will be hard. I will cut a different fabric to lace the back, which is going to give us that whole snatched effect. So I have 4 pieces of black fabric here. I cut it to the length of 10 inches and to the width of 7 inches. So I will place them right face facing the right face, and then I'm going to sew up the top part and the base. Also mark the points where you want your lacing loops to be. So I marked mine. I think I had about 6 loops for each side, so I went ahead to cut like 12 loops for this. So I'm going to trim out the excess loops that was showing. Once I'm done trimming, I'm going to flip it over to the right face. At this point, I will mark where I want the lacing loops to be. So from underneath, I mark 2 inches upwards. Your loops can actually be bigger than mine. It can be longer than mine, but I think I was okay with what I had here, because I actually didn't reduce my bust measurements. It was my waist measurements and under bust measurement that I reduced. So I just went ahead to do this majorly for that. So now, before I sew it, I'm going to sew on the same sewing line that I have. I'm going to first of all trim this to the shape of the blouse that I have. We've almost come to the end of this tutorial, guys. In case I have not mentioned, make sure to like our videos. The likes does not always match up with the views, and it's not nice. It's not helping with the analytics. It's not helping YouTube recommend our channel. So please, I want to beg you to always hit on the like button if you learned something new from my video. So this is the second to the last thing. Now that we have sewn that up, we are going to attach our zip, and the last thing for you to do is to attach your sleeves, and also the last is to weave the rough edges. So because of this inner lacing we did at the back, you can see that I am able to zip this up. This originally wasn't even going to zip up, but because of that, I zipped it up and I have this snatched effect. And this brings us to the final result, guys. I hope you learned something new today, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to share, because this helps you to recommend our channel to other people as well. So that being said, see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.